everybody? I'm Chad Eckert, and that's Joe Idone, and this is the Preferred Lines podcast, the Open Edition. We've reached that time of year, Joe, where you got to kind of unload your bankroll. You got to go all in because it's the end of the season, man. We got the last major. Are you excited?
Yeah, baby. Summer of golf. It's not quite over yet, but yeah, last major, the sixth major of this long 2021 super season. So the long-awaited Open Championship returns. Are we going Open Championship? Are we going the Open, or are we a British Open pod? Like, where are we standing?
That's a good question. You know, like, politically correctness is like a big thing in 2021, so I don't want to get in trouble calling it the British Open. I'm an ignorant Minnesotan here in the basement of my house. I don't know if I guess I'd use
that's
British.
What you titled the tweet, British
because
Open.
I use British Open because I'm not a dummy. I follow the people that are in the industry that direct me to do that. And Patrick Mayo, hello, the one and only, has that, and I just copy the best. So SEO or the British Open, baby. Let's crack some beers for the Open Championship.
I went actually mixed drink tonight, so beware, viewers out there.
Uh-oh. Do you normally get a little bit drunker off of the old mixed drink?
I wouldn't say drunker. It's just a preferred beverage for tonight for Preferred Lines.
Okay, what about the preferred app on the Jock Market? Oh my gosh, I love the Jock Market. Should we talk about them? Do they have anything going on this week? Should we go over there and sign up for that?
So a couple of things. So our promo code is still active. So PL will give you 100% match up to your first $50 deposit. Awesome app. People are loving it. They released like this API, which if you're into like computers and like that kind of, that's way over my head, but you can actually trade like using this computer platform and like buy and sell shares, which I know our buddy Nelson was doing last week. Rick's been experimenting with it. But it's all great stuff. Good friends over there. They support the show. We support them. Sign up for Jock Market. Use our promo code if you do. We would greatly appreciate that, and you will have a great time.
Yeah. I ended up making a little bit of money last week. It was great. I had fun on it. Dude, I want everybody listening, watching that has not already, stop and go to Twitter. Follow us over there. If you're watching on Twitter, thanks. Retweet it. Or if you're on YouTube, you can like, comment, subscribe, and do all those things. But Joe, we have a little giveaway at the end. Want to talk about that particular thing?
Yeah, let's give away some t-shirts, right? Last major of the season. Follow Preferred Lines, people. Like, yeah, I love you guys for following me. Chad, you got a ton of followers. We got to get our Preferred Lines following up. You know, we're trying to pitch ourselves to the big networks. We're the hottest free agents on the open market for the 2022 season. But no, every little bit helps. Go follow us there. That would be much appreciated. Subscribe below. Hit that little thumbs up button. All good stuff. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, and so then if you follow us and then you decide that you want to leave a comment right now on the side of wherever you're watching live, because we're doing this live. I mean, you may be on iTunes and you're too late, so you can't win a t-shirt. But we're giving away a couple t-shirts, actually. So you got to leave your Twitter handle in the chat. And then at the end of the pod here today, we're going to select a couple people that left their Twitter handles in there, and we're going to double check that you follow us on Twitter. Either way, we don't want to waste any more time. We can waste your time if you want us to with an interview that I did a couple days ago with the Tour Junkies Pat Perry. If you haven't already listened to that, that's available on iTunes. We're going to just skip right through and get to this betting board, Joe. And at the tippity tip top, you have John Rahm Rodriguez. Does anyone call him that? That's his real name, but that is 8-1. Oh my goodness. Is this a number that you're interested in? Because I don't know. It feels great though, for a reason. Here's why. I like that John Rahm has separated himself, has become this public betting person, because then it allows us, Joe, to get the numbers we're getting down the board. Because if there wasn't a guy like Rahm soaking it all up and just absorbing it all at the top, then we might not get a 22 or whatever we can get on Dustin Johnson here. But I mean, my goodness. So I'm okay with the Rahm going at 8-1. You can have that. Do you want that?
Okay, when you said you were like excited about it, I thought you were going to tell me that you bet it. I was going to call you crazy. No, you can't bet this, guys. Look, 8-1. First of all, the Open Championship is the most random of the four. It's the hardest to peg. The U.S. Open's the easiest, where we talked about it on the last pod, how you can red ink basically 70 to 80% of the field. There are a ton of freaking guys that are live right here. I realize that Jon Rahm comes into this like this close to essentially 3 consecutive wins. He should have won Memorial. He would have won Memorial. He won the U.S. Open, and he was like in contention, the leader after 2 rounds at the Scottish Open. He's awesome. I'm nothing against him. You can't bet him 8-1, not in this field, not in a major championship. You have to take the bump on the other guys. If you can take 2 guys, basically at double the odds of Jon Rahm for the same, value when you boil down the numbers, you have to do it. I'm not here for it. Best player in the world number 1, deserving, may go out and run train on this week, but I'm going to stand in front of it and just hope that I don't get run over.
Okay, well, we're not going to the top of the board. But before we talk about the next names, I talked to Pat Perry about specifics when it comes to the Open and the majors, betting on those things. I wanted to ask you, though, coming into this week, do you take into consideration what occurred just last week at the Scottish Open? Does that make any difference to you?
A little, not as much. Just because of I feel like they're going to be completely different scoring tournaments. Obviously the Open Championship and anything over here is primarily dependent. The primary defense is the weather, which is unpredictable, which makes it hard for guys like us who want to build a model, because it's the unquantifiable, it's the unpredictable. At the same token, you look at the score under par of what the Scottish Open usually plays and what it played last week. And in 2003 and 2011 that Darren Clarke won? I don't know. The last 2 times that it was at Royal St. George, there were 5 total scores combined that were under par. When Ben Curtis won it, he was the only guy under par. When Darren Clarke won it, there were only 4 other players under par. It's going to play difficult. There's a lot of par 4s. There's challenges at this course that the Scottish Open simply doesn't present.
But we want the guys that have been over there, don't we? Or so then are you not using the John Deere Classic leaderboard either? Because we want the guys on the Euro body clocks, don't we?
Kind of. I mean, Berger's the only real exception here of a guy coming over from the John Deere that I think has a chance to win this thing. Give me a
burger. Come on, should we eat the burger?
I actually kind of, before he withdrew this morning due to COVID, I was kind of interested in seeing what Zach Johnson's number was going to be at, just because I heard him talk about how he's swinging it so well. But Berger's the only guy. Like, I'm not going to put a whole lot into it. Of course, you want to get them on the clock and the schedule and all that kind of stuff, but I'm not going to necessarily downgrade Berger because he didn't go over next week.
Okay, what about these trends and all this fun stuff we're seeing, all these narratives? Do you fall for some of this stuff? Like, do we want to go after wind players? Are we looking at just veteran Euro guys? Can an old man win?
This is Prefer Lives, baby. We fall for all the narratives. You know the deal, Chad. No, I fall for some. Look, I did Friday. I was with Feinberg on his show, and he really sold me on this sort of veteran narrative of basically you've got to, the numbers point to you've got to basically be a top 40 player in the world with a couple of exceptions on there in major championship, particularly Open Championship pedigree. So am I going to disregard Colin Morikawa and Vic Hovland? No, but I think it gives a bump to guys who have been and experienced this type of environment, this type of setup from the RNA for 10 to 12 years. Your Paul Casey's, these guys who are more established and have been around the European circuit for quite a while, played a lot of Open Championships. I think it's only going to help them. Okay.
Do you have a model going this week? Are you making a model on Fantasy National? Because it's kind of hard with these Euro guys, right?
This is the one week where I'm not going to make a model. I'm going to go totally on gut feel on who I want to play, because it's the last major of the season. I'm going to bet it kind of like the Super Bowl and bet who I want to root for, right? We're pretty low stakes bettors, so it's not like I'm in this thing to retire and it's my 401k. But yeah, I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to bet the guys that I want to bet, and I'm going to lean on what my eyes tell me and not what my stat model tells me this week.
So then, Joe, I would like to ask you about the next name showing up here. It is Brooks Koepka. Do you have interest? I know you were tweeting wondering about his chef and whether that chick is in town with him. I was going to counter you and say that maybe it's nice that he's alone and rogue and in the hotel room, and he's just like, it's me against the world. I'm going to do this. I need an open championship. Oh, yeah, I used to do this when I was young. He's going to get those old memories back of when he was at the Euro Tour alone trying to grind onto the scene. And, yeah, I think we're good with Brooks. I like him. Are you on him?
Fuck yes, I'm on him. It's Brooks. It's a major. The guy is like 90 under par in the last 5 years in majors, and the next best guy is struggling at 25 under par. Like, sure. I bet him in all 3 majors this year. I've been wrong in all 3. I'm going to go to bat again. There's no doubt about it. I think that, like, kind of one of the reasons that I brought that up and interesting, because a lot of the players have complained this week about the COVID protocols, and many of them had Airbnbs like booked together, like Ricky and JT and Spieth. They all like to stay together and bring their dogs and their families and have little team dinners and, you know, talk about the course and the guys who go out early and late. Brooks ain't that guy. Like, Brooks brings his small bubble, and he doesn't give a fuck if he hangs out with any of these guys. He's at the dinner table with Nagy, with his fiance, with his caddy, and his small team of Koepka. That's why I was kind of interested in it, but that's not going to bother him this week. Last year he was in it. I mean, 2 years ago, Lowry kind of ran away with the thing, but, you know, he got stuck with basically JB Holmes in that final round, and it's where we got the very first Brooks eye roll, right? Yeah. Instead of before the whole Bryson thing. So, yeah, I'm going to bet him 18-1. I already did. It's a big bet for me. Let's go.
Yeah, same here. We're not dumb. This is Brooks at a major. Like, it doesn't really even matter where it is, what it is. You're just betting Brooks at a major. And if you're not, have the books not figured this out yet, that they should just have him at 10-1 or less every single major? Because it's like, he's going to pay that out. Oh, my God. Okay, what about the next couple names on the list, Joe? We've got some juicy numbers. Xander's here. Oh, my God, of course Xander's here. But then you've got Rory at 19 and Jordan at 19. Oh, and then you could get even Justin Thomas or Dustin Johnson in the low 20s. Is this a time where we should remind everybody that maybe you should have multiple accounts at different books so that you can shop this stuff around?
Yeah, shop it. There's a couple of apps that will show you like all the books out there. Like Odds Checker is one of them that will kind of give you the full rundown of where everything sits at. Yeah, shop it around different times of the week. These guys are going to be at different numbers. I don't think the top changes substantially, but in terms of like interest in this level, Brooks right now is the only one that I've bet, but Spieth's close. And God, he's just so popular. I don't know that I can do it, but the more that I'm feeling this thing out, and I tried today to not intentionally not like digest or listen to really any other content because I just kind of wanted to come in here with my thoughts. But I feel like the momentum building on Spieth, right? Just on Twitter and outside, like he's popular. My guy, shout out to PGA Splits 101 on Twitter, does a great job, releases some stats. So Koepka's by far and away the best links player playing in this event. Number 1 in the field, averaging 2.75 strokes gained per round of links golf over the last 50 rounds. Spieth is second. They're the only 2 guys over 2. He's right there. We know he has the putter, but he's coming to this event this year with something he may not have came with the past couple of times, and that's some confidence off the tee, right? I think that he's going to be there. I don't feel like he has the same win equity as Koepka. That's my hesitation. Basically, where I'm at right now is, do I take Spieth or do I grab like 2 guys at 30 to 40 to 1? Where do you sit on them, the hot button player of the week?
I mean, immediately I liked it. So I hit it up with a couple bucks, but I mean, I'm not sure, you know, because I do like Brooks here and I do like Rory. I'm kind of leaning more now Rory than I am Spieth in terms of if I can get a better number. So I can find a book that has a 20 or 22 on Rory, which I'm looking for. So
why Rory? Like, give me a reason why Rory, because I thought about it just because I feel the talent level that he has, but the guy just hasn't performed great in majors, particularly Opens. So like,
what he's been great at Opens. The only time that he was shitty was that when he missed the cut and he was awful on the first 22 minutes of the tournament when he went OB on hole number 1 at his home course.
Fort Rush, right?
Where, I'm sure he couldn't even feel his club because he was so nervous. His arms were shaking. I'm giving that a pass. From what I've seen, he's been top 5, top 3, top 2 winner. I mean, he's good at Opens. I think this is his time where he's coming in with a win on the season. Typically, we've talked about how he's got to get over something or there's a problem with Rory. There hasn't been much talk about Rory. There hasn't been any problems with Rory, and I don't know necessarily if you have to be good at one thing or the other on this course, or if the wedge game that he's struggled with is going to be exploited here. I'm not sure, because I think the creativity here, the mental fortitude, the understanding that 72 holes of links golf is a test, and it takes a lot of, like you said, there's only a couple people that are going to be under par overall in the entire week. So I think a Rory plays well into that. I don't know if that plays as well into a Spieth or a JT mindset. Maybe even a Xander. They're more fragile in those ways. So I would actually lean the Brookses and the Rorys where they're now. Spieth's won an Open. We would somehow miraculously that one time. So I could give him like, hey, he's won an Open. And so I don't think that there's not going to have mental problems. Maybe Spieth could be fragile, but at the same time, Rory, Brooks, I think that's the way you go at the top of the board.
I worry, and maybe that was a bad take on that, but I worry about moments with Rory McIlroy in like meaningful career, big time moments. Right. Coming back to his home course where he's the betting favorite, going back to Kiowa Island where he's the betting favorite, where he's won before. The pressure that we see that he doesn't seem to perform his best at the Masters on Sunday. The pressure that we saw at the U.S. Open where I had a Rory ticket and I felt great about it going into like, what was that, the 8th hole that was a par 5? And I'm like, Rory, eagle, incoming, bogey on a par 5. Like these moments that he continues to not rise to the occasion worries me. And that's why I don't feel like he's necessarily reflective of a good number at 19-1. Just playing devil's advocate a little bit.
No, I know. And then my counter to that would be that Rory has had those moments to at least learn from that. And then he's had the experience of fatherhood, which we know can change a man. And he's 32 now, Joe. He's starting to figure out that he's in the middle of the prime of his career, and he needs to take advantage of this moment. I think that he's at a perfect place in his career to come in at 20-1 and get a 20-1. I mean, that's what we're talking. Rory McIlroy 20-1 at an Open Championship. That's more or less, again, where I'm not really sure I'm betting anything and anyone in particular, but if I can find value here and there, like the value to me is more important. This is roulette. Anybody can show up and win at any point in time. But if we can get a 20 versus an 8 on Rahm, like I feel like maybe they did that on purpose because then I'm a sucker to bet the 20.
Okay. DJ do anything for you, or are we just going to move right by him?
I think we're moving right by him. I'm not really sure I'm interested in the DJ. I mean, like I've seen it as low as 11 to 12, 15, and then it's now at 22. No one's betting it. No one wants it because he's not in the greatest form. His focus is a little off. I don't think he's had the best historical performances in Opens. So I'm more the truth is that I like the candy, the shiny new toys, dude. I like the new toys. I like the Victor Hovland. I like the chance of a Matthew Fitzpatrick. I like the Colin Morikawas. I like always the play and bet Patrick Reed. I mean, I could make an argument that you should play. You see value in Tyrrell Hatton at 30. So I don't know. What has DJ done lately? Is what I think.
So not a whole lot. The one sort of plus that I would stick with him is 2011 Open Championship at this course that Darren Clark won. He finished T2.
He did.
Had an eagle like late on the back 9 to kind of get himself a little bit in the mix, but ultimately at that point he's still 4 back of Clark, who ended up bogeying a couple coming home. But he did T2 along with Phil Mickelson here in 2011. He has a decent Open Championship history, but like you said, I think that the current form, I would have liked to see some more positive signs for him. particularly at a place like Torrey, particularly at Kiowa, like the Masters coming back as defending champion. Like I want to see him rise to the occasion a little bit more. So yeah, I'm willing to bypass that 20.
I have a favorite play almost overall, and it comes in this range. I seriously, I'm kind of shocked at it actually that Colin Morikawa is sitting at 35-1. That seems interesting to me, considering who Colin Morikawa is. His win equity, his overall talent, like he's Tiger Woods Jr. I don't see what he's done bad lately. I mean, his results are really, really good. He's won in February. He was 18th at the Masters, 8th at the PGA, 2nd at Memorial, 4th at the U.S. Open. Dude's 35-1. I found him at 40. Isn't he okay at Euro golf and like has an imagination and isn't? I mean, I don't know. I think the iron play could get Colin Morikawa to a point where he could win an Open this age. I think he's played in 3. He's improved every single time he's played in Opens. His approach numbers over the last 7 measured events are ridiculous. He's literally a god with his irons.
He's played in 3 Open championships. Are you sure about that?
Has he played in 3? I thought he played in 3.
I don't see any here.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
But regardless, I think that's the sticking point, right? So that's why you're getting the number. I'm not saying that it's wrong. I think that he's great, but I think that he's a debutant here, and he's just so Americanized and PGA Tourized, or however you want to say that, in his
where he has to.
It's all about just a strokes gained on approach, right? It's all about flying it to the hole, pin high, and sticking it there and trying to make putts. Versus this is very different golf. I don't know that he has experience. I think that throughout the years that we've seen the veterans who can kind of run things up and get creative with their shot making and know how to play link style golf, perform well here. At the same token, like I don't know how often we're going to see guys with the talent level of Colin Morikawa show up here at a number at 35. I've seen some 40-1s out there, so it's a big number. Like I could be sold on him. I haven't done it yet, but you make a compelling case.
I made the note about Cameron Smith is who the one has improved the last 3 times. I just confused that. I'm a couple beers deep. Hey, we wanted to remind you guys out there, if you leave your Twitter handle in the chat over there on the side, there's 18 people watching. You can win a T-shirt. We're going to give T-shirts away at the end.
Please,
of the podcast.
check these out. We have 3 options here.
Oh, hold on.
Let me see here. Gambling Club member.
Okay.
Option 2 is gray. This is a good one. This is a fan favorite.
I like that one.
Can we see that? Loggers and long shots, preferred lines, couple of beers cheering. And then the OG, I've got a couple of these left. Script preferred lines, Golf Gambling Club. If you're here, you're a member, get a T-shirt, drop your Twitter handle, follow us, and we'll pick a couple of winners.
Oh, we got some people in the chat. Hey, Fran Millionaire is here, of course, always. We love Fran Millionaire. What's up, dude? Brian's here. What about the fact that the first-timers don't normally fare well at the Open? Thanks. I know. I don't care. His name is Colin Morikawa. It doesn't bother me. Okay. Cam Smith's always the answer after a couple beers. It's true.
We'll get there.
Hey, I used to have long hair. I wanted to have a mullet, but, I have a wife, so I can't do that. What else do we need to know? We need to know about – this is where we're getting to the juicy numbers. Are going to get you a good payout. Let me hear your names, Joe. Who do you like in this range of the 30 to 40s?
All right. I've only bet one so far, and I'm a little squeamish about it, but I feel like that might be a good sign. Like there's always something when you make a pick and it doesn't sit right. If it sits too right with you, you ain't going to hit it. But I took Tyrrell Hatton.
Okay. Yeah. I agree.
3-1.
That's a good, it's a good number.
If we're going to sort of circle links specialist, maybe the best in the field, won the Alfred Dunhill twice. Also a good track record at Open Championships. Second at the Palmetto recently, which he probably should have won that event. He lost 4 strokes putting and finished second at the Palmetto, which is sort of astonishing. Miscut at the U.S. Open. It was really just a shit second round that I'm kind of willing to overlook. But the guy has been able to stack together a lot of wins recently. You would think that kind of his emotional style of play, where we sort of see these outbursts, would not lend itself nicely toward links, weather, bad breaks type golf, but it's worked out pretty well for the guy. Sixth at Portrush. Let me see what he did before that. 51st before that. Like, it's not great, but fifth before that in 2016. I'm sorry. So it's good, decent history. English lad. It's coming home. Why not? I went 33-1 on Hatton. That's kind of my pick, but I'm really sort of staring at, and I may need your help on this for a take, but let's talk about Bryson. What are we going to do?
No, wait. Before Hatton, though, before we leave Hatton, okay. I have a question, because like Hatton is the kind of guy that you would bet outright, but maybe avoid on DraftKings or even Jock Market. Do you have that feeling or whatever? Because he kind of seems like he gives up sometimes and has the give up factor. So then maybe an outright's a good position at take on Hatton, and then you can avoid him. Do you ever hedge?
I mean, there's guys like you mentioned, and I think he may be one of them. There's guys that you could just trust in contention, right?
True.
And there's also guys that you can trust when they're like 15th to storm a back nine and like try to get themselves a 7th or a 6th place. Like, I don't necessarily see him as that guy. You know, a la like we've seen, we like Rahm's famous for it, right?
Like
just backdooring sort of top 10s or Hovland. But like, yeah, I feel like you're going to know very early on Sunday if he's in contention, and you should feel pretty good about it given his history and track record.
Okay. All right. We got to talk about Patrick Reed, right? I mean, we're going to bet him. You bet him. I mean, this is 30.
No, I know. It's either him or Bryson for me. Like,
okay. So you want to talk about those two? Okay. Well, don't we want the European ambassador of the European Tour, Patrick Reed? Hello. They gave him some honor a few years ago for some reason.
He's an honorary member, isn't he?
It's literally Jack Nicklaus, Tiger or something, and Patrick Reed randomly.
They appreciate him over there. Well, we appreciate him.
Maybe he's just a
your wall back there. We appreciate you, Patrick.
Yeah, I got his autograph.
But we're like, I just don't know how to ignore that number on Bryson. So what I'm sort of like, to me, all right, so at Kiowa, as linksy style as sort of an American golf course can get, major championship, 7 weeks ago, he's 16-17-1. Right. Why is he double the number? Because we don't think he can play under the weather. Are we giving him additional points because he doesn't have Tim Tucker? Like, is that what?
No,
are we giving him points on the betting board because he doesn't have a caddy? Like, where does that factor in?
It could actually, that could be a factor because of the fact that he's got to calculate all this shit. He's got some random new guy on the bag that's jumping in pools. I think, truthfully, Joe, as Mike Miller has told us from day one, they're not putting numbers out there because that's what they think is going to happen. They put out the number so that you bet it, and they think, oh my gosh, nobody's betting on Bryson because they don't think things. They saw the match versus Phil a day ago, and they're like, oh my God, he was terrible. There's that. The fact that he's a loser and he's getting beat up on social media all the time by Brooks, so they're not betting him. Bryson is also really bad at British Opens. The track record is miscut, 53rd miscut.
I understand that.
So that he is the same thing, like where it's like we at least have seen, like Colin Morikawa, I could say, hey, we don't know, he's a rookie, whatever. But then like Brooks, I'm like, holy shit, he's bad. Like, it's okay to know that. And he might even know that in his head and not give a shit. Is he playing 3M? He should play 3M because he could win 3M next week. So maybe he intentionally misses the cut and goes and plays in Minnesota 3M in a week and smashes it because that's what he likes to do. Bomb gouge, not think all these thoughts. Maybe he's going to have to, his brain's going to explode. Okay. Patrick Reed is the bet.
We drool over the elite drift. Like, we live for this, and we're all just gonna sit here and ignore the most obvious 12-15 point drift on the board because he was trying to like hit 500-yard drives at a course in fucking Montana with Phil. Like, look, I understand I get it, but I'm also trying to say that there is a scenario in which Bryson gets it right and figures something out here. And I don't think we're giving him credit for that potential upside that he can win this. The guy won the U.S. Open in August. The guy has won in March. The guy
Where was he at the Rocket Mortgage?
What's that?
Well, he was terrible at Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah, he was shit at the Rocket Mortgage. Like there was something going on, and there is
he lost his caddy. He was sad.
But that's why we're getting the number.
It's a number that I think you can get. Oh, great, but I don't want it because I could do the drift is Rory. The drift is JT.
No, those are like 4-point drifts. It's like a 3.
That's what I'm. But this is like
the drift.
This is like a 28. That should be 28. Maybe 33 is a ridiculous number, and then you buy that for sure. I guess I'm buying the 40 on Rory or on Morikawa because I feel like that's insane. I mean, from what we've seen, 40. That's so I get where you're coming from on that.
I just think there's a situation where this plays out that works in his favor. The new caddy, like we're giving him this huge, like we can't give points on the betting board for a caddy. Are you kidding me? So if JT switches from his guy to Tim Tucker, like are we going to bump him 5 points for a freaking?
No, we'll probably dock him.
No, so we can't give like there's a way that this happens where he takes hybrid or he takes 3-iron off the tee and he plays this thing smart because he can have a plan.
Yeah, he does.
And the whole caddy thing was a weight off of his shoulders.
Sure.
And like I can't believe I'm of all people sitting here being fucking Team Bryson on this, but the number has put me like that's where I'm at.
I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to will it to being a Bryson versus Brooks final pairing.
Oh, I'm taking the exacta or whatever it is, the vanilla, wherever you can pick them to finish 1-2. I did it at the U.S. Open. I'm taking that again. It's going to be even better odds. Probably 250 to 1 on that.
Okay, well, man. All right, what else do we need to talk about?
All right, I'm sorry. I derailed our whole show right there, but let's keep moving.
Well, make sure you comment if you want a T-shirt, and we're going to draw for that. There is, Louis Oosthuizen was Pat Perry's preferred play. Spoiler alert, but I'm not as interested in that as I am in like Patrick Cantlay or even Paul Casey. Do you have an interest in any of those names? Holy shit! Look at Matthew Fitzpatrick. He's 30 to 1 now.
Yeah. No, I do. I like them both, but I just can't see the winning. Like we're talking about outrights here. I think Paul Casey and Louis make great DraftKings plays. I think they could be solid in the Jock market, but we're talking win equity, and I think Bryson and Reed exceed that. Brian, I see your comment in there. I do owe you a shirt, I think. I'm shitty about shipping these things out. You probably never gave me your address. DM me again, dude, and your size, and I will hook you up. I can't believe I haven't sent it. That's my beat.
Whatever. I owe like 4 people hats. I've never sent them out. Anyway. All
right.
Yeah, I'm a Fitzpatrick better, but I bet it at 66. Joe, I got a 66 to 1 on Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Sharp futures.
Yeah, because I was in December, okay? Like, we do that. I love that. Now, all right. God, Tony Finau. Oh my God, he's 45. Scheffler is 45. You got Lowry and Fleetwood and Garcia. I hadn't even seen this. Berger's 55 on this book. I don't know. What about Webb or Lee Westwood? Can Lee Westwood win? Oh my God, would be fun.
So Saturday, I'm looking through the odds boards and I'm kind of clued in a little bit to the Scottish Open early in the morning, and I'm seeing Lee Westwood up there, and I'm thinking, let me go grab Lee Westwood now at like 100 to 1. I go to my book, he's like 45. He's like 50-ish now. I can't do that. And then so Westwood and Poulter are the same dude to me. Poulter's double the price. I took Poulter. Yeah. That's all it came down to. I liked Westwood. I wanted to bet him. The numbers outrageous, I think, given those other names that he's right around to come through and win this.
People are doing this because of Phil winning the PGA. They're like, oh, Lee Westwood, it would be so cute. I need the ticket. Honestly.
Just cheer for it. It'll be fun. If Westwood wins, it'll be fun.
Dude, we're not alone in our thinking. I think we've influenced people to bet on Poulter enough that he's now 60 to 1. So,
damn.
Fleetwood is No, not Fleetwood. Fitzpatrick's already drifting way down to 30-1, and then you've got Poulter at 60-1. I had 100 or 110 or whatever on that a couple days ago. That's ridiculous. What about Joaquin Niemann? Are you interested in that? He just performed pretty well. He was bogey free for 72 holes, and then Harris English took him down. Any interest in Niemann's number at 70?
No, because I took someone else, and I know you're on him. So go ahead and give me the spiel. We talked about him earlier in the show, the mullet man himself. Give me the Cam Smith take.
Dude, I got to have Cam Smith in my life. I think this is a great course fit. I don't know anything about that, if that's going to make any difference. You know, we typically like to take Cam Smith in January or February or in the early part of the PGA Tour season. The narrative behind that is that it's summer in Australia. And like, maybe that's when he used to play golf, and it's in January. I don't know. Whatever. Either way, Cam Smith, an actual good golfer, could probably play at all months of the year, and that narrative is stupid. I think he's shown it at the Royal Melbourne, at the President's Cup a couple of years ago, just did that. Kind of feels like that could be this kind of a course here where you have to run and gun it. Now, a man who has a beautiful mullet, I could easily see him missing the cut as much as I could see him winning, but I think he's got that upside. And I think if you can get it at 50 or 60 or 66-1, I think it's a great bet. He's progressively gotten better at Opens. That's who I meant to say, not Colin Morikawa. It was Cameron Smith. He missed the cut first time out. Then he was T78. He's like dead fucking last. And then finally figuring it out in 2019, 20th. Maybe he's due for a top 10. Maybe that's where you start playing top 10 bets, Joe. If you're not stupid, maybe you do that.
This is the range where you consider starting. Yes. I'm in on Cam Smith, 66-1. I think it's a great bet. I think that this course, when you look at the last couple of times around, the green and regulation percentage is really small. It's like not much above 50% in terms of guys who are hitting the green in two here. A ton of scrambling around the green game, creativity, stones. Like you got to have them newts swinging. Cam Smith like does it all, right? Love the kid. I'm in 66-1.
Okay, we're scrolling down. We're on YouTube. We're live. We got people commenting their Twitter names so that they can get a T-shirt. We got fun stuff going on all the time. Joe does a podcast on Wednesdays with Rick Run Good about the Jock Market, which is our favorite app on the entire world. We even like it more than DraftKings. At least I make money on it, for fuck's sakes. I had to deposit all the time in DraftKings. But we're scrolling, and we're scrolling to the 80s at the Open and the 2021 British Open, we're calling it. And Ricky Fowler standing out here at 85-1. Any interest in Ricky Fowler, or would you go with Zalatoris or Answers at 90? My God, these are decent numbers, actually.
Okay, no, this is who I went with. And this is a guy who I never bet. 75-1. I took Harris English. What is he on DraftKings Sportsbook there? Where's Harris?
60.
All right, you can get him on my bookie 75-1 right now.
Okay. Why'd you take him?
This guy is bookended basically this season since January with wins. He won at the Tournament of Champions in January. It was basically this top of the mountain for Harris English. Steady climb downhill. He's on the rise back up, and it's tending to get toward its peak, and this, I think, would be that spot. Just won his last start at the Travelers. He finished right before that. He was third at the U.S. Open, top 15 at the Palmetto. He's trending at the right direction. He has all four facets of his game really working well, and I think it's just a number value. Like I've got him here on my bookie, the 38th guy down on the odds boards. If you go to DraftKings, he's like $7,300, which he's like the 44th guy down on your DraftKings board. Like the guy just won, and he's the number 12 player in the entire world, according to the OWGR. I think he makes a great pivot play in DraftKings off of Dan Berger, who the ownership's going to be unreal on. I think that he makes a good bet at 75-1. I'm in on Harris English.
But we don't care. He just beat the hell out of a birdie fest? Is that not because this is going to be a bogey fest?
Well, he played the tournament that was in front of him, and he won.
I suppose.
Yeah.
So then why can't we do that with the Scottish Open people? Why can't we be on Fitzpatrick because he lost in the playoff? That's what I'm trying to use.
I don't not like Fitzpatrick. I just wasn't one of my bets this week.
So yeah, whatever works for you, I guess. Who else do we have down here? We have Sam Burns at 90. You get Brian Harmon. Give me a break. Now, this is where none of these names are winning, are they?
Well, it's so these names around English, like I'm just looking at them on the odds boards. Simpson, I'm going to read them off. Simpson, Answer, Poulter, Bezadenhout, Day, Fowler, Norin. Like none of these guys have won. This like within a year, none of them have won. Harris English has won twice.
And but won't somebody be the Lowry and just
really tough conditions? So look, I think he's got the biggest upside if we're talking about outrights in that range.
Now, will Jason Day pull a Shane Lowry and win out of nowhere and kind of just be this random Euro specialist that we know he could maybe be? Or is this back thing an issue for Jason Day?
Yeah, the back thing is an issue. He either needs like surgery or he needs to like stop like having children and get in shape because his back is breaking down. Like the guy can barely pick the tee out of the ground right now. I'm not going to bet him until I feel better about his physical condition to perform.
All right, now let's be honest. We don't know much. I don't wake up all early in the morning and watch the Euro Tour. I got too much going on in my life. I'm not going to lie about that. But I did bet Lucas Herbert a couple weeks ago when he won the tournament, and that was the only Euro bet I made. I kind of follow a little bit. Do you know anything about Lucas Herbert? He's good, right? And then you could bet that. I mean, he's 100-1 right here. Could he win an Open, though?
Played well in a couple of PGA Tour starts leading into that, which is why I think both of us were on him when he jumped back over to the Euro.
It was his iron play, yeah.
I don't know a ton about him. I didn't bet him here, but I can, triple digits. Let's talk about some guys because there's a couple that have my interest that I haven't pulled the trigger on yet.
Well, I wanted to talk to you right away about the fact that you did pull the trigger on Phil Mickelson. Now, did you pull the trigger on Phil Mickelson within the last 48 hours? Or
no.
was this like
that was in December? You can check the tweets.
You pretend like you're interested, but it was only because you were interested a year ago.
Okay, so I posted, it was over Christmas break, Open Championship odds to my Twitter, and I was like, there's a certain lefty on this list that I really love, and everyone thought it was Bubba, and I said, no, Phil is going to – I got into this argument, started
with me.
Planting a flag on Phil winning a major this year, and I just took.
No, you said he's going to win again, and we were all like, "No, he's not."
Yeah, I was like, "He is going to win again this year." I said, "Everyone, he's going to win on the PGA Tour."
I didn't have any faith.
So with that flag in the ground, I took him to win the Open. I thought this was his best chance, but yeah, still 110. Like I see him at 60 on some sites, so that's not a horrible number. I have 125 from December when he was in absolute shit form, couldn't make a cut. So that's not a terrible.
His career was over. But okay, so you wouldn't do. Maybe you would do that again. Would you do that again right now today?
It's like weird because he's playing so much better, and there's so much more reason to feel good about it. But is he going to win 2 majors in a year? Like I don't know. I already have it, so I don't have to make that decision.
Now, I see Stuart Sink here and Adam Scott here. There's like Stenson around this area. You've got other
110-1.
Isn't that crazy?
Christ.
What happened to him?
That's a big number.
I mean, that's kind of off.
Yeah, that's like 50 points up from the book that I'm looking at. So if you got DK Sportsbook, that ain't a bad to run to with $10 or something.
Right. That's how I roll it, or $1, bro. Now. We're not bankroll judgers. We don't judge out of those bankrolls like Saul, you fucking asshole. Anyway, I don't want to bet Billy Horschel or Garrick Higo or any of these names. I'm not really interested. Are you?
So I'll say this. There are a couple long shots that I'm interested in. I've only taken one so far, but you see this shirt I'm rocking right here?
No. What?
This was an old work shirt. Right here.
Okay, K-State. Who's from
where the hell I never played golf ever, basically, in high school. I worked at the cart barn at Kent State University golf course, like circa 1999. school. I just washed carts. My boss at the time, who was the pro shop manager, won the Open Championship at Royal St. George's, Kent State University grad, Mr. Ben Curtis.
Holy shit. Is he playing?
I've got a good story behind here. Ben Curtis won at 500 to 1. He had one previous top 25 ever on the PGA Tour. Showed up here in his first season and was the only guy to break par at Royal St. George's. Like, one of the more crazier stories that never really gets digested and talked about too much in these shows. But fuck yes, Ben Curtis, Kent State Golden Flash, was once my boss, got me into golf. I saw him win. It was all over the newspapers. He was a local celebrity. Cool story. All that
is pretty cool. Let's
give some life to some long shots here because it's the Open Championship and you can breathe a little life into these guys. One of them that I've got, the only one I've taken so far is I'm burning down the Wiesberger. 125 to 1. I'm feeling burned. It's 125 to 1. I'm not going to make
I don't understand.
For him. I'm just throwing a couple bucks on him, and I like it. I also don't think Kevin Kisner's a terrible play this week. Back-to-back top 20s, I believe. T2 at Carnoustie. He's coming into this event off an 8th and a 5th on the PGA Tour, so his form's trending the right way. These guys that can kind of hit fairways. Danny Willett is really got a boost in odds. I was looking. So when I placed the bet on Phil, and I know I'm rambling here a little bit, but when I placed the bet on Phil, I was actually looking for a Willett number, and it was 100 to 1 at the time because he won the US Am here. He's got there are some eerie comps, I think, between some of the skill assets that transcend at Augusta to here. 250 right there, like that. I know he's coming off the appendicitis or something like that, but why not? Willett's another guy I have interest in. Though I'm just throwing out names. All
right, let me throw something at you. What about Kuchar? Come on, Kuchar. Could he win a major for the first time in his life?
This is the one. Like, if he's going to do it, this is the one.
You wouldn't be shocked by any means. You'd be like, oh, it's a cute story. It's almost like an under-the-radar cute story, not like a Lee Westwood cute story. Mm-hmm. What about Molinari at 200? Like, Molinari, holy shit, he just won this 3 years ago.
I know. I just don't. I wish I saw some more positive signs from him.
Why is Woodland 175 to 1?
It's a big number on Woodland. I'm seeing 150, but yeah,
he's just bad.
It hasn't been great. There was sort of a positive trend there, and then things have gone a little bit south since then.
What is the truth, though, Joe, is that none of these dudes are probably going to win. It's going to be somebody at the top of the board. So don't get too cute, especially when you're making DraftKings lineups. You don't need that. If you need help making DraftKings lineups, or if you want advice about that, or we're going to talk about that, me and my buddy Eric Martins, we talk on what is called the Fantasy Golf Pod. And I do a pod with him. We do the majors and the big events. It's called The Names and Reasons, and it's live. It'll be right about this time tomorrow night. So that will be following actually a Spaces.
Yeah, right? I think we're going to do that again. I don't have it totally dialed in yet, but I thought it was pretty fun last time. So we'll get some names together. We'll just talk some golf tomorrow night. Then I'm going to do the show, obviously, with Jock Market Power Hour with Rick on Wednesday. And I'll probably do some long shots tomorrow. It'll be a fun week. I'm looking forward to it greatly.
Okay, let's check the chat and see if there's anything in there to just talk about.
Jagerbomb's
9. Dude, Jagerbomb's is in here. He loves Morikawa and Bryson numbers, so maybe he's on the same page. Jagerbomb has a great website. It's on Patreon. You can go there and get this spreadsheet. It's amazing. So I would do that.
The best $10 you will spend.
Definitely, for sure. Any Matt Jones love? Joe,
no.
I mean, he's a wind player. If you looked up Fantasy Nationals Windy AF, did that, you could find him.
I don't buy into the Windy AF narrative.
Neither do I.
Do you?
No, actually,
wind is impossible to. Even Windy AF is hard, man, because you're on number 8 and you're into the wind, but on number 9 you're downwind. And then it's does it shift? And did you tee off at 1 or did you tee off at 9 or did you? It's there's so many. It's just hard. You start to factor in wind and you just sort of spiral down a tunnel. So I don't put much emphasis on it.
I mean, I like to see it just to see it because it's fun to look at. But Yeah, I mean, we love noise. We love the noisiest noise of stats and stuff ever. Like, we're fine with the like noise, but that's one of the noises that I don't really listen to.
No, yeah.
That one I'm like,
noise.
Okay, well now like Velcro and the speeds of the greens and all that, maybe that's less than the wind. I mean, my God. All right, let's give a T-shirt away. We've got a lot of people that chatted their names in the chat. We've got comrades. You got Fran. You got.
I owe our boy Brian one, so he's
Brian.
already in. Why don't
Brian's
you?
At Brian Kirshner.
Yeah, we know Brian. Brian does a great job as well.
Here.
Are you gonna how are you gonna pick one? Just pick one.
Okay. Oh, we got.
Try to randomize it.
Okay, well, let's do the first one that did one was Fran Millionaire. So we're gonna give Fran one. And
Good, I like Fran.
Yep, and then we're also going to give the other guy that did it first because they're the ones that listen to us. Fran's a great guy. I mean, Fran, he's in the communities out there. I've seen him in other places. Fran was on the Top Shot pod with the Club Top Shot with Pete Overzet.
I hope you're feeling better, bud, too. Yeah, so listen, we got this one. Just let me know which one you want. We got the G.
And here's the other guy. His name is Comrade. It's 2020.
Sweet. I don't know him, but thank you for following. Thank you for listening to the show. You got the gray tee. You got the original. We'll just call this the OG. This is the OG. DM me, address, size. I'll send you guys some T-shirts. We love you guys. Appreciate the support as always. Have a great Open Championship week. This was a really long show. Sorry for keeping you long, Chad, but I just had a lot to say today.
That's fine. I'm, as always, at Edina Realchi. He's at Tour Picks, and we're at the Preferred Lines. This is the Preferred Lines podcast. Signing off. Thanks for watching. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Cheers.